All right. So while I have a moment, because things have gotten busy and there's still more Masters of the Universe stuff to be talked about, but got to work and everything, I actually did see Snake Eyes. And I'm not going to go, I am going to hit a little bit of spoiler territory. I'm telling you that now. All right. I'm going to try to do my best to. I'm going to have to do some spoiler, but I'll tell you when. I'm going to give you a really quick synopsis on what I thought about this movie, rate it, and then go into some of the spoiler territory. I already expected this movie to not be great because of political things they did, even though they did not focus on it. I'll put it to you like this. Snake Eyes is not the hero of this movie. As a matter of fact, it's like they took one aspect of Snake Eyes. Now, Snake Eyes is a very angry character. If you read the comics, when the girl became Snake Eyes and they did this weird mind thing because the guy wanted a girl to be Snake Eyes but have his memories, and then he said he didn't care about fans not liking the fact that he used a female because he wanted a female lead instead of making her own original character. He made her own original character, but then when he realized it wasn't working, made her Snake Eyes, but she had none of the training and all of the rage. But then he was like, oh, because I'm not woke. Literally, I'm saying like what the guy said. That's not me. This version, he had nothing. Like, he was not he didn't have his honor or nothing. He just had the rage. They did a thing where they opened up and they show him as a kid. But I'll tell you when. So, as I was saying, I don't remember when I recorded, I had to stop twice. Snake Eyes is not the hero of this story. As a matter of fact, with the situations going on, all the craziness that was happening, Storm Shadow is very kind. They open the Arashi Clan opens their household towards him and everything, and he pretty much just spits on their faces. And then on top of that, the girl starts getting into him because he has a bad story, but it's crazy because they got rid of his honor, like his honorness. Now, the actors all did a great job, but what made this insane was Snake Eyes was had no honor whatsoever, which that's not his character, and they brought him in within a month's time, and instead of them growing up together as the kids and the thing, which is what they should have did when they showed him as a child with his father, and they changed the reason why his name is called Snake Eyes, which was dumb and unnecessary, but they tried to create drama, and I just felt like it didn't need to be. Snake Eyes, you see him with the dad, the whole situation happens, and then he's cage fighting, and for some reason, he can just fight. They don't tell you why, they don't tell you anything about it, he's just an amazing fighter. He does his thing, but he doesn't lose. And they go through this whole thing, and it's just weird. It's like, you see stuff later, he's tricking things, he's just not heroic. Because of what he's done, and what he keeps doing, it takes him, when he finally realizes that maybe what I'm doing is not a good way to go about it, it's like 20 minutes left in the movie or something. I'm like, what is wrong with this dude? And it's like he suffered no consequences for the things that he did. He gets a MacGuffin, it starts to screw up everything. I liked Scarlet and Baroness, like their introductions, and I like Samara Weaving and what they did, but it felt like you could have did the movie without it. You know what this felt like? This felt like it was somebody did a movie and then decided that, hey, this movie is not good enough to sell on its own. It had okayness. I like the sword, but we gotta put more to it. You know what? Let's make it G.I. Joe. That'll get it over. That's what this felt like. And what else is stupid? And might be spoiler territory, but technically they did it already. The costume, and when you see Storm Shadow in the plane, those were the end. And they showed them in the first trailer. So I don't feel like I'm actually spoiling it, because they already showed it. They kind of go through a thing, then they do a magic thing, but it's not totally magic. I get where they get it from. Then it's like, they turn around, he's not Snake Eyes. They gave him the anger part, but then everything else just did not register as Snake Eyes. It was like a different character. And the way everyone panned out and how they accepted it, and Storm Shadow was the only one that seemed to be like, no, dude, this guy just like did some really bad stuff. And even when this was showing how bad the world could get with them getting these things and what they were trying to get access to, it was like Snake Eyes was like, oh, well, maybe it is bad. And it didn't feel like he earned anything. He didn't even have a hero's journey. He started off as a jerk. He did something, finally found his ways, and then the one girl went from not trusting him to like being obsessed with him, which was weird. And that's still not spoilers, because you kind of see that in the trailer too. And it just came out where it just came muddy. And I like that they had some semi-super ninja powers, which was like G.I. Joe, because I will always remember when Storm Shadow was trying to teach the ninja force, and he chopped a tank with his hand in several places, and the tank fell apart. So that was always cool. And it was interesting because as each time you saw Storm, like that guy, Tom, become Storm Shadow, it was like he had a little bit more white on, and then a little bit more white on. And then like throughout the movie, he kept adding more white to his outfit. And by the end of the movie, it felt like Snake Eyes didn't earn anything. Everybody just gave him everything. And Storm Shadow was justified. So this is as far as I can go before I start going into spoiler territory. And like, I'm not going to go through everything. I'm not going to go through all the actors. My rating for this film is totally a sinking ship. There were some things I liked. I actually liked the action, even though the characters, they kind of played up the invincibility thing, where it's like they took on a bunch of people and barely got injured. But at the same time, sometimes I don't mind that when you just see a hero just go in and just tear it up. But it did seem like injuries meant nothing to them. So like I said, sinking ship. Okay. That was your spoiler warning. I'm just going to take a few minutes out. By the end of this movie, I wanted Storm Shadow to kill everyone. Storm Shadow was the only hero of the movie. Everyone else was trash. They have this stinking rock. The rock is sitting there, the sun rock, which can blow people up or whatever. Storm Shadow is trying to protect everyone. He gets really mad, grabs the rock, uses it, but they have a policy about never using it for whatever. Then the grandma goes, well, you can never lead the clan because you use the rock, even though they use the rock to try to help everybody and save everybody. And he's like, what? Snake Eyes was invited, and when he came back, after he finally gets the thing with the dude that killed his dad and realized maybe this isn't worth it. My revenge is not worth hundreds upon hundreds of people dying, or the Baroness who's like totally like taking out trains and stuff. Maybe, just maybe, I'm being an idiot. Then when he deals with the dude, he ends up not wanting to kill him. The reason why he got Snake Eyes isn't because of the unlucky thing. It's because he got, because his dad, the dude, did the thing with Snake Eyes on the thing. No one knew his name. And it was super frustrating. He was a jerk the entire time. Never was honest. Was a spy. And they did the whole thing. Everybody's like, well, you need to remember your things to the clan. And I'm like, why are you punishing him? They're like, well, you brought him in here. Well, yeah. So you punish Storm Shadow. Like, I wish Storm Shadow would have turned around and said, you know what, Grandma? No, I run it. And after they did the whole thing of, Well, no, you can't. I wish he would have just been like, no, because I said so. Deal with it. I run it. That's it. That's how it is. He's like, I gave everything to you. And this one thing, you turn around, she's like, you know the laws. And I'm just sitting here like, so Snake Eyes, he walks up to him and he goes, you said I could have your life. The next time, I'm going to take it. And I'm sitting here like, stab him in the throat. Stab him in the throat. Now, does Snake Eyes take the vow of silence like one of the stories? Nope. Does Snake Eyes get his vocal cords cut as he should have when Storm Shadow should have just immediately struck him? Nope. Does he get shot? Nope. How about that scar that goes down his face and down the side through his throat and that's why he can't speak? No. Nothing happens to him. He can talk just fine. He gets the costume at the end and they're like, well, you're going to need this suit to do this because he saved them. He saved the Arashi after he's the reason why they were destroyed. It's like he set up his own hero thing. That would be like me robbing a bank with 4 people and then turning around and then stopping the other 3 bank robbers and saying, I'm the hero because I decided to stop them randomly. Snake Eyes, from start to finish, was a jerk. He was never a hero. He's the villain of the story. And Kenta, who he gets in the middle of Kenta's stuff, Kenta does his thing. Kenta was interesting. And by the end of the movie, I was like, I wish Snake Eyes would have taken all you out. Hard Master, Blind Master, Grandma. I wish he would have taken his blades and said, you know what? I'm done with all of you. Because they just accept the Snake Eyes, and the Snake Eyes is leaving. He's like, well, I got to bring him back home. And I'm like, you all destroyed his life. And instead of him doing the cut on the scar, on his tattoos for the clan, he takes off the ring and puts it down. And I'm like, and they're like, we got to bring him back. And I'm like, it's your fault. Anything. And also, too, when Snake Eyes, when the Kenta's just taking people out, I'm like, that's blood on your hands, Snake Eyes. There was nothing redeemable about Snake Eyes. He was on this journey, and I'm like, how did you guys screw this up? And here's the other part that really frustrates me. The character they made up named Kenta and Tommy, which is Storm Shadow. Those 2 characters together are what made Storm Shadow. They took every single bad trait of Storm Shadow and put it into Kenta and made Storm Shadow not only sympathetic, heroic. He joins Cobra because he literally feels completely betrayed by his entire family, and they're going to try to, like, they made Snake Eyes, oh my God. I'm like, you should have did the thing from when they were kids, and also, too, when they found their brotherhood, it was like, he was like, where you're my brother. I'm like, but you should have told me. And he cuts his hand in the thing, and I'm like, huh? I felt like the girl and him were around each other more. You guys were barely around each other. I mean, yeah, you got, like, Tommy got really close to the Snake Eyes really fast. And it's kind of weird to the point where they were brothers. I'm like, you weren't. I feel like you didn't have enough time to get that kind of bond. What they should have did was, they should have showed him as a kid or cut that thing out completely. And then show him living on the streets, learning like they did in the other one, you know, the proper way. Have him steal some food, Storm Shadow fight, and then they train together, they grow together, they everything, and then have it where Storm Shadow wants it, but the Hard Master and all of them are like, no, you want it, and your greed is what's there. We're gonna actually elevate him, which they still could have played up the Chinese Asian thing, because he did talk about the American thing a little bit. And like Snake Eyes couldn't speak Japanese. There were so many issues that it didn't make sense. So like I said, those were the things that really stood out to me. I thought the action was fine, but you know, whatever. And I liked his sword that Snake Eyes got, which was, if I remember correctly, it was the Dawnbreaker, which is like his first blade. And the suit was nice. That was probably the best suit out of the 3 live action suits we've seen. Even though the second movie's live action suit was pretty good, because that first movie with those lips was ridiculous. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Why did he have lips? I would say, honestly, wait until it's at home. I didn't like it because I was correct. They did not do Snake Eyes justice. They were too busy worrying about making him Asian and doing other stuff, and they were playing that up versus actually doing the story. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see you in the next one.